Hi everybody, it's Gean from BonnieGean.com. Welcome back to today's video. Today's video is an answer to a question that I received recently about my newsletters that I mail out. And her question to me was, why are my newsletters cut off all the way down the page? In other words, if you look at it, you'll see that the width of the lines are very short, with the exception of the URLs, of course, because we don't want those to split in half. But I do my newsletters like this for two reasons specifically. The first reason is because I realize that my subscribers may not be using the same email client. Some use Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail, and various aspects of different email clients. So I want to make sure that when I send my newsletter that everybody can read it no matter what kind of email client they're using. That's the first reason. The second reason I do my newsletters like this is because I'm following the suggestion that Aweber is making to me. And what I mean by that is, let's go to Aweber and I'll show you. If you go to messages and then hit broadcast and open up one of your broadcast messages, you'll go down to the plain text message editor here. And if you look, you'll see right here there's a white space and a blue space. Right inside this blue space, Aweber says recommended width, and it has an arrow pointing to this line. So basically what they're telling me is, if I'm going to put anything inside this box, they would prefer if I stayed within the white area. So that's what I do. And in order for me to do that, I have to make my newsletter wrap down to the next line so that it does not bleed over into this blue part. Now there's only one case where I do allow things to bleed over in that blue part, and that's my URLs, because I will not cut those in half. So here's what happens. I go inside of Evernote because that's where I produce my newsletter from, okay? So here we are inside of Evernote. This is a copy of the exact newsletter that we just looked at in email. The only difference is you'll see that the lines don't wrap. They go all the way over to the right hand side of the page. They stretch all the way over. Everything does. So now let me show you how I get it so that it wraps inside of the Aweber editor. So in here we're going to highlight this. We're going to right click our mouse and we're going to say copy. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go into this little nifty tool that I had made. Now I had this tool specifically made for my article marketing as well as my newsletters. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my cursor in this box and I'm going to hit paste. Now what it did was it pasted my entire newsletter inside this box. It's going to format it specifically to 58 characters per line because I have found out from testing inside of Aweber, 60 characters is too wide. 59 is one of those touch and go where sometimes it touches that blue line, sometimes it does not. So in order to play it safe, I went down to 58 characters per line. So I'm going to paste my newsletter in here and I'm going to tell this program that I want it to format my newsletter at 58 characters per line. So I'm going to hit this button that says format text. Now I know it worked because immediately I have this yellow background. So as long as you have the yellow background there, that's this program basically telling you, okay, I've done the work that you wanted. And you could always tell too up here where it has your text is formatted to 58 characters per line, blah, blah, blah. So what I want to do now is right click inside this box and say copy. Got to select all first. And then copy. Then I'm going to go to Aweber. I'm going to put my mouse in here. Right click, hit paste, and now you see that my newsletter was pasted into Aweber. And if you look over here at this blue line, nothing is crossing it as far as the text is concerned until you get down to the URLs. And like I said, I don't go in here, and hit enter and make the URL go on the next line because I don't want it broken. So the URLs I will allow to go across that blue line, and Aweber doesn't have a problem with that. But as far as the rest of the newsletter, you'll see that it does not go over that line. And that's how I get my newsletters to look like this in email each and every time that I send them out. Now, as a gift to you, I made a template of my newsletter. So if you would like to use my newsletter and this tool that I had made, then you are more than welcome to do so. So what I'll do is I'll take this template, I will zip it up for you, and I'll put it on the website. Whenever you want to, you can come into this tool, paste your newsletter in here, and then hit Format Text, and you can format your own newsletter and do that every week if that's your desire. This tool was made specifically for us to enjoy, so I hope that you'll enjoy it.